Welcome back, and this video is a bit of story time. I can't believe I have a 1-year-old baby, and thank God, because before I delivered, I was in the hospital for 1 month. Yes, almost a month. It wasn't a full 4 weeks, it was like 3 weeks and a couple days. But in hindsight, I have to be grateful because I can't imagine going into labor with that doctor. I have never met her. I only saw her NP, her nurse practitioners, and the whole there were just, the doctor was neglectful, they were also neglectful, and you have to be careful, especially for first time mothers. You have to like read a lot and pay attention to your body, know what is normal and not normal in pregnancies, because a lot of these doctors, they will try, you will have concerns, and nurse practitioners, you will have concerns, and they will dismiss you, and that can lead to you having complications with your pregnancy, and God forbid, your baby dying. So around 25 weeks of pregnancy, I woke up like around 2 a.m. in the morning, and my underwear was really wet. So I went to the bathroom and my underwear was soaked. And I'm like, did I pee myself in my sleep and not realize? So I changed and I went back to bed. When I woke up that morning, the same thing. So I'm like, no, something is wrong. This is not normal. But I don't know what it is. I'm like, this is not pee. But it's weird and it should not be happening. A real quick side note, I enjoyed the food. I enjoyed the hospital food. I was surprised because I've only heard complaints about people who are in the hospital for a long time. They hate the food. Well, I did not like that oatmeal. That oatmeal was not it. But apart from the oatmeal, I had a menu and I could choose what I want from the menu. You, even if this was what is going to prepare it on this specific days, you can like, oh, I don't want that, and select for them to prepare something different for you. One thing with me, I do not want to be a bother in a hospital, because I want to make their lives as easy as possible, or their work life as easy as possible, so that they can give good care and make my hospital stay as pleasant as possible. My best friend also sent me a knitting kit, so I learned how to knit. Listen, I had days upon days upon days, weeks in that hospital, so I had to find new hobbies and things to occupy my time. Okay, back to the real purpose of this video. So I message in my patient portal and I say, good morning, Nurse R. And I said, Nurse R, she's the nurse practitioner, because I've never, up until this time, I still have not met the doctor. Up until this day, I have still not met the doctor, even when okay, let me continue. So I said, good morning, Nurse R. I am having watery discharge since this morning. I am not having any pain, but it's the first time this is happening. I want to know if this is normal or something to be concerned about. So she respond, hello, Shireen, and increase in vaginal discharge. That's not what I said to her. I had said, I am having a watery discharge. So, okay, so that in itself, I'm like, I never said anything about increase in vaginal discharge. Yes, it's a vaginal discharge, but I specifically say watery because I'm using specific words to describe what's happening, because especially when you're for medical reasons, you have to be specific when you're describing your symptoms and what's happening to you. So I use watery to be precise. Anyways, she said vaginal discharge can be normal in pregnancy, and it is called leukorrhea of pregnancy. If you notice any abnormal color, odor, or vaginal itching or irritation, those would be indications for further investigation, and you should call us or schedule an appointment. Otherwise, it is likely a normal symptom of pregnancy, and we will see you on the 19th. Let me make this clear. Watery discharge is not a normal symptom of pregnancy. If you're having watery discharge, and I'm sure everybody know what watery means. If I say something is watery, it's runny, right? I think that is the meaning of the word watery. It runs. I reply, thank you, see you on the 19th, because I already know what she's telling me. I'm not a doctor. I am not a nurse practitioner. It's just common sense and my knowledge. Thank God to my education in Jamaica. We are a third world country, but we've been learning about the human anatomy and the reproductive process and everything since I think grade 9. We started before grade 9. We started learning about that, so we know what is normal or what is not normal. Anyways, I go right over back to my Google Scholarly because I'm a Google scholar. And I started typing, which brings me to Reddit. And one thing, Reddit, you're gonna always have everything on Reddit. Small interjection. My husband was my hairdresser. My husband was literally every single thing I wanted him to be when I was in the hospital. Because I could not go to the hairdresser to wash my hair. I did not have any strength or even wanted to wash my hair myself. So, yes, he would wash my hair for me, dry it, and he claimed he was putting it in a ponytail, but I had to do that myself because he could not do that right. But I'm so grateful for him, super grateful for him. Okay, back to Reddit. Reddit told me what leukorrhea of pregnancy was, and it was not what. Leukorrhea of pregnancy is like a thick discharge, and just a thick discharge.
I thought you were asking.
A thick discharge and a watery discharge is two different discharge. At this point, I said, I'm going to give this 24 hours and go to the ER if it continues. So, 24 hours goes by, and the liner that I'm wearing fills up. I changed to a pad, the same thing. So I messaged again in the patient portal thinking, okay, maybe now I can ask them if leukorrhea of pregnancy consists of these symptoms. I asked, she's like, no, that's not normal. She said, what? Now the doctor is the one that responds, the doctor that I've never seen or spoken to. She's the one that responds now, not the nurse practitioner. And she says, leukorrhea of pregnancy is normal, but trickling down your leg is not normal. And I should go to the hospital where I'm supposed to deliver because I might, just to make sure I did not break my bag of water, which is the same thing as the amniotic sac, which I had already suspected that was what was happening, that my water was leaking. Anyways, I go to the hospital and they start doing all the tests, and guess what? It is exactly what I thought it was. And I've still not seen that doctor, still haven't seen her. And you know what the funny thing is? One of the nurses that works at her practice works at that same hospital. I didn't even recognize the lady. The lady recognized me and she's like, I know you. And I'm like, huh? that's when I first walked into the labor and delivery ward, and she was at the front desk, and she says, "Yeah, I know you," and I'm like, in my head, I'm not even registering what she's saying to me because I'm thinking about every single thing that could be possibly going wrong with my pregnancy. And she's like, "Oh, from Dr. blah 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 office." I'm not gonna say the doctor's name. And I'm like, "Oh, don't remember this lady," but the lady remembers me. And so even the nurse, I see one of her nurses again, and I still don't see her. And this is an emergency, and I still don't see her. And you know what? In hindsight, I'm glad, because I would not want to have complications during delivery, and she's my doctor. Because she's at this point, that their practice is very neglectful, because this is my first pregnancy, and this, I say I'm concerned about something, and they don't say go to the ER, or they say come in, and to make sure that everything is fine. They just brush it off like it must be this. And what they were telling me it must have been is not what I described to them. Anyways, I am at the hospital now, and this doctor, he comes in and he tells me that my doctor is not there. I don't know where she is. He did not really give an explanation to where she was or anything, but he just says that he is going to be my doctor if I go into labor within the next 12 hours. I am 25 weeks pregnant. So my panic button goes off, of course. And then I can't deliver there. So they have to also try to find a specialty hospital to transfer me out to. Because this hospital does not have a level 3 or 4, they only have a level 1 and 2 NICU, and they can't deliver babies under 30 weeks. At this point in time, I am waiting because the hospital also did not have a room ready for me. And I was waiting until they got a room ready. And around 3 a.m. in the morning, a room was finally ready, and I was transferred out. And praise be to God that I was transferred to that hospital, because the doctors were on point, the nurses were on point, and everything just went uphill from then. Obviously, I was still in crisis, but just knowing that the doctors cared, and they were every single morning, they were on their rotations, and the nurses came in every single time they were supposed to come in, and they were just on point with every single thing. And I just felt relief, and everything else was just praying. I was just praying that this little girl makes it to 34 weeks, and praise be to God, she made it to 35 weeks and some change. And then the day after my baby shower, this girl said, "All right, it's time to jump up out of this joint." And my water broke again. Well, started leaking. It did not break. It started leaking. And my new doctors, they were like, "Okay, girl, we are going to induce labor because, yes, this child wants to come out." That is the shortened version of my pregnancy journey. Well, a part of my pregnancy journey. Okay, another funny story when I was at Norfolk General. This is the good hospital now, with the good doctors and the good nurses. And I was constipated for days. When I said days upon days, I was over it. I even asked for an enema. That's what it's called. Yes, I was ready to get. I was crying. I was bawling on the toilet daily. Till at one point, my husband had to hold my hands while I'm on the toilet. He had to hold my hands, and he was right at the door. And I know he was over it. He was right at the door, and as a tiny poop come out, he flushes. Another poop come out, he flushes, because this is poop that has been stuck inside me for days. So you know it stinks, like really stinks. You know what? Like, shout out to that man, because I don't know.